If you're trading Bitcoin, you need to watch this video. We're giving you 3 tips that are going to make a dramatic improvement in your analysis and your P&L from trading Bitcoin. So put your trading platform away, get off Facebook, stop scrolling on TikTok, sit back and enjoy the video. What's up, traders? Welcome back to the channel. Evan and I are going to share 3 must-know Bitcoin trading tips. Now, we're not going to give you all 3 at the beginning of the video. You're going to have to stay through until the end to get all 3 tips. But first, make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube. We're doing a lot of these collab videos, as you probably have noticed. I like bringing other traders on. I love their perspective. And Evan has just recently joined the ASFX TV staff. He's going to be streaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays through the New York session. So you can tune in to see me on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and now Evan on Tuesday and Thursday. So we have a full week of New York session streams on ASFX TV, plus Tom and James are still doing the London session almost every day except Monday. So it's a full week, both sessions. We have a ton of value there. If you aren't subscribed, make sure you check the link in the description so you can check out Evan, check out me, and I'm sure you're going to learn a lot through those live sessions. Already, Evan has grown in just the first couple of streams to one of the more popular streamers. Maybe it's the time of day. Maybe it's because he's a good-looking guy. I don't know what it is. Maybe it just happens to be the value that he's bringing on the chart. It's probably that. So, Ev, for today, let's talk about these Bitcoin tips. So the first one, I think that's probably the easiest one to share, is time of day. And you said that this was an important one for you. So tell us, why is the time of day that you trade Bitcoin very important? And maybe give some clarity to how you trade, like what time frame you're using and things like that. What strategy are you using? And again, why is that time of day so important?
Yeah, so I first started trading Forex pairs mainly, and no problems with that. You can trade that any time of day. But when I switched to the indices in Bitcoin, there's a little period in there, like 9 to 10, where the volatility picks up when the market opens or news comes in for the dollar, and it can really shake you out of a trade. Or you get burnt if you didn't know the news was coming. So I trade the 15-minute, and I'd usually take a break at like 9, let the open come in, develop a little bit, and then once it quiets down a little bit, I'll enter back in, and then you should be good for the rest of the day. Still got to watch out for news in the afternoon. But I think knowing when the volatility is about to hit could keep you out of trades, can keep you in trades, but it could definitely save you money.
It's a great point. It's a great point. And when you mention news, do you find that these news events on like the US dollar are impacting Bitcoin as much? Or maybe does the open of the New York stock market at 9:30, do you find that's moving Bitcoin as much as it's moving the indices?
Definitely not. Even like today, I had a trade on Bitcoin. I held in through the open because I was far enough from my entry that it will spike a little bit, but not nearly as much as the indices usually.
Yeah.
So
that's why I like it so much, because I think you can still take advantage of a trend, as we've seen Bitcoin and the indices, both risk on assets, both moving similarly. You might see trend on the indices, but you could turn and look to Bitcoin for that entry if it's near the open, so you can avoid a little of that volatility, right?
Yeah, you'll see it react to the market open, but it won't be as volatile.
Yeah, that's a great point. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, my most important tip, was really using the 8 and the 21 EMA. And Evan did a great job with that today. Bitcoin dropped yesterday. Every time frame, the 8 and the 21 EMA crossed down. The daily bar was huge yesterday, down 10%. So then today, the short bias was very clear. And all Evan had to do was take advantage of riding that 8 and 21 EMA. And why I wanted this to be one of the tips was because it's been very clear to me now, trading Bitcoin for almost 2 years, every day studying it, going through the periods of when it's very volatile and the periods when it's more quiet, as it kind of has been the last couple of weeks. You'll see the power of these EMAs because Bitcoin will just pick up momentum randomly for whatever reason. It could be something in the Asian session. It could be something based on no news at all. It's just moving. But because you're positioned in that trend with the 8 and the 21, you're not fighting trading against the 8 and the 21, you end up taking advantage of that rip. And I know you had a great trade today, Evan. How far did that move? 3R, 2R from your entry now at least?
A little bit over 3R.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. And the 8 and the 21 EMA haven't crossed up yet since they crossed down. I mean, just because I'm looking at my chart right now at basically the London session. You know, we're now over 12 hours of just that 8 and 21 EMA saying sell, 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 sells. All you got to do is ride it, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's also important, that you want to look at the direction, but also see that it hasn't shifted up against you at all. So the downshift is now even stronger. You're not just trading whatever direction it's in now. You're looking at the strength of that shift. And today it's pretty strong.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I guess our third tip, it ties in perfectly to the third tip, which is using structure. And on your streams, I've noticed that you and I look at very similar structure levels. So let's give everybody watching this video some tips on what levels to look at. Like today, what level were you really focused on with that Bitcoin trade?
Today I was looking at the Asian session low, but I'll also go from yesterday's high, yesterday's low.
Yeah.
Anywhere where you can get a lot of slowing, a lot of pins. It's all discretionary, but sometimes it comes off a key level like the Asian session low or yesterday low. I know Tom likes to trade off of yesterday's low or the Asian session low as well. And it's just very easy to read.
Yeah, yeah. I think that the intraday level of Asian session low or Asian session high is very important. I think the London session high or low, at that point, like when I'm waking up, maybe 6, 7 a.m., that London session high or low is normally the higher low of the day if we're not still in the Asian range. So then I'm kind of looking at both of those levels to see, are we near them? Could we use them as support? But I also love yesterday's low. And it's so weird how often price, especially with Bitcoin, respects structure. And what I think we found trading the A2 strategy, we see that we can get a great sell price on a downtrend. And if you're trading with structure and with that 8 and 21 EMA, it might chop. But have you noticed that when you trade this strategy, it chops and you're in profit? It maybe doesn't leave the level yet because you just have the right direction. You're not trying to time it perfectly. You're just getting a good price. And you're sitting there letting the market do its thing because it's not turning against you. But do you notice that like these A2 trades, when you're chopped more in profit than you are like on an A1, right? Where you take that breakout and it pulls back on you and you're chopped in drawdown. Do you follow what I'm saying? Have you noticed that?
Yeah, because there's also A2, we're looking for the shift against us of the 8 and 21 as an early exit signal.
Right.
And it's very rare that you'll get the chop during there. You'll either know that it's shifted pretty quickly to get out of the trade. You're not going to be sitting in for 4 hours and then get a shift. Be like, oh, I got to get out. It's either you're in profit, but you're slowing down, or it's pretty well known that it's a loser from the beginning.
Right. So now what are you doing with the higher time frames? There was actually somebody just in the Discord today asking about like higher time frames with the A2. They were saying like US 30 had great shorts today, but on the higher time frame it was so bullish. So how would you know to still short that? Are you looking at the higher time frames with Bitcoin?
Yeah, I definitely am, but there's also like what you use, the fundamental bias, and I'd like that to be aligned with the higher time frames. That's when we get the perfect trend, perfect L50. But I didn't really look at that today, so I don't know. But I do look at the higher time frames, and if one or two of them, like the 1 hour, the 4 hour, aren't matching, that's not going to stop me from taking a perfect trade on the 15-minute. But yeah, I'll definitely look at it.
Sure. So like on the day trading side, even if the higher time frames aren't beautiful, it's still, if it's good on that 15-minute, on that entry time frame, it's still going to play. It's still going to be a trade you want to be involved in. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you find that like Ethereum ever attracts you? Do you ever want to like take a Bitcoin trend idea and look over at Ethereum, or are you really just focused on Bitcoin?
Yeah, I have it on my watch list or whatever you want to call it, but I've never placed a trade on it. But I'll definitely watch it to see how that moves with Bitcoin. Okay. Pretty much the same, but no, I never really take a trade on it. I'll just trade Bitcoin because I like Bitcoin.
You're the Bitcoin king like me, bro. And I mean, it's a good market to be involved in. People watching this far into this video are looking to actively trade Bitcoin. And most of you guys are either funded or you're trying to get funded. And most of the brokers are offering Bitcoin. So it's like, why would we go play with a currency that has less volume in it overall? Why not just play with the big dog? It's Bitcoin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there was even some chances where like Bitcoin's not presenting, so you switch to Ethereum and it did present a signal that we like. But I've just never brought myself to trade it because I guess I'm not familiar with watching it every day. Could move a little different than Bitcoin, and I don't know it, so I just stay away from it.
Well, you know, Tom has backtested over 20,000 A2 trades for us. So we paid this guy to build this backtesting software, this code in TradingView, and then you can do tons of data very quickly. And Ethereum hasn't been something we've done at all yet, but Bitcoin has proven to be at a 60% win rate. So I'm curious to know what the win rate on the A2 strategy on Ethereum is, you know, because that could tell us, hey, maybe this is an asset that for some reason with this specific A2 strategy is outperforming Bitcoin. But so far, Bitcoin is the best asset that I've traded the A2 with, even on the indices, because like you said, the indices catch some crazy volatility sometimes. And Bitcoin is actually, it's almost like it avoids that predictable news volatility sometimes. It's more docile, but then it catches volatility randomly. I mean, this FTX thing this week is, of course, what's driving it. But have you seen it sometimes in the Asian session, Bitcoin just move with one big bar, two big bars, and it's random. There's no news. There's no nothing. So
Yeah,
it kind of
absolutely.
catches that random trend, just that random gas.
Yeah, when I got to the desk, I think it was Monday or Tuesday morning. I got to the desk and Bitcoin was down like 6%.
Right.
I think it still dropped another 4 after that.
Yep.
But
And then another
it's
10
like
today.
what pushed that? I don't know. I just got to the desk.
Right. Right. And like I said, today and this week, it's been this FTX thing, which I think is probably what's going to send Bitcoin lower. But what's beautiful about the way we trade Bitcoin and from the tips we gave everybody today, you can make money in Bitcoin on the way down as a day trader and on the way up and in between, long and short, if you know how to ride the trend. So everybody, let's review these 3 tips real quick. Number 1, structure. Structure is important. Asian range high and low, yesterday's high and low, today's high and low, even the high and low of the week, right? That's another good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So structure is important. Time of day, knowing how to maybe avoid volatility during news events or during market open, things like that, and shifting to Bitcoin for that reason too. So knowing the time of day, and then maybe even understanding that Bitcoin moves a lot in the Asian session, so you could trade then and catch some volatility if you're working, right? It's a great asset to trade if you're working. And then the final tip, the 8 and the 21 EMA. The most important, my favorite tip, trust that 8 and 21, ride that trend. And that's really what we preach. So if you guys want to watch us trade, come to ASFX TV, hit the link in the description, take the 3-day free trial, and come check out how we do this live. You'll see every day me and Evan doing the same thing. And the beautiful thing, now as Evan starts to build his library of content with ASFX TV, is you can go back and watch previous trading sessions from all of us as well, which helps just shortcut the learning curve for you guys as the students. So yeah, these tips are very helpful. I think if you apply all of them, you're going to see an improvement in the way that you trade Bitcoin. And let us know in the comments how it works out for you. Or if you have a really important tip that you want all the viewers to see, put that in the comments as well. And if it gets upvotes, it'll get moved to the top and people will learn from you as well. So yeah, we appreciate it. Ev, thank you for the time, bro. I know everybody is going to continue to enjoy the content that you put out. And everybody, we'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.
Thank you.